What's good, YouTube? DM here with the DM Network. Y'all, today I want to talk a little bit more about training in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Before we get into all of that, y'all know the routine. Follow me on the social media platforms, PlayStation ID, Dmgaming5, Twitter at Dmgaming5, Twitch at Dmgaming06, and Instagram at _DM_network. Also on Facebook at Dmgaming06. Join that over 9,000 Hype Squad. Y'all know what to do. So on with the video. Today is the 5th, of course, so we know tonight Bandai Namco is going to have their panel, Play Anime panel, where they'll be showing off their upcoming games and things like that. As of right now, they haven't been releasing anything, but that doesn't mean that they won't. I do feel like they will maybe talk about Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. I don't see why they wouldn't, especially at an anime expo. It would kind of be one of those things like, what are you doing kind of things, but we'll see. So tune in for that this evening. 7 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time for that. So training is something that I feel should be I revisit that a lot, y'all, because it's something that is very, very important to do right in this game. As we can see here from the scouter, there's going to be training grounds. So there's actual locations on the map where you're going to have to go to train. You can't just train in the open free range area. You have to go to these particular locations to train. Now, what these locations are, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure some of them will more likely be like iconic training locations. For instance, Kami's Lookout may be a training ground, you know, with the hyperbolic time chamber. The gravity room, hopefully, is one. And it may be like just the fields or something to that effect. Kami's house or something. I don't know. But with it being an actual location, this is going to be something interactive. How do I know this is going to be something interactive? Because if you look at cooking, those yellow, okay, so the brown ones, the guide, the grocer, the trader, those are NPCs that you interact with that's going to give you something in return. Cooking is like the campfire, where you go to the campfire and you select what you want to cook and you sit down and you eat and time passes by. R&D, research and development, that's an interactive thing. So we know that training is going to be interactive. It's going to be something that you do. It's not just, like we're flying around and we just start, I just start fighting Piccolo and call it training. No. So there's going to be a system set up for training. That is a fact based off of what we see here, as well as what we know with cooking and some of the other things. It's an interactive thing. The fruit tree is an interactive thing. Mineral deposits, those are all interactive things that he does. So training grounds, there's going to be a system set up for training in this game. So the question is, what is that system going to be? How is training going to be implemented into this game? Because to me, if I ever had to choose a make or break for me for this game, it would be training. At this point, everything is going so well with this game, and I'm very pleased with it. Training is that one thing that's like, man, if they can get this right, this is going to blow the roof off of this game. Because in previous Dragon Ball games, training has been nothing more than just fighting. There's been no kind of benefit from training aside from learning the combat mechanics and stuff like that. And I understand what people can say. Well, yeah, it's training for you. The same way that Goku trains to get better at martial arts, we train in these games to get more familiar with the controls and to be able to string together combos and things like that. And it actually makes you a better player in the game. So here's one thing that training does. When you look at Dragon Ball Super, for perfect example, Goku, while K-Flow was, in my opinion, probably stronger than Goku, she couldn't beat Goku because she lacked skill. That's why Goten and Trunks didn't get the fight in the tournament. While they were more powerful, probably even more powerful than Krillin, with their Super Saiyan ability, they weren't able to fight because they lacked fighting skill. It wasn't the power that they lacked, it was the skill. So hopefully with this game, but that's another side of training. We look at Gohan, for example. Gohan, that's actually a better example. Training does two things. Training is going to raise your power level, and it also makes you a better fighter skill-wise. We know this as a fact because Gohan, when he didn't train in Majin Buu, what did Vegeta say? You were stronger when you fought against Cell. See what I'm saying? Gohan didn't even know in Fukatsu no Eva if he could even go Super Saiyan again. Because he hadn't been training. So, his power level was weaker. He was actually a weaker fighter against in the Majin Buu saga than he was when he fought Cell. Vegeta even said that. Not only that, but his fighting, his skill was bad too because he hadn't been practicing it on it. And other games have done a really good job of the skill part, because it is true. If you get better in controlling the game, it makes you better in game, so it makes you stronger, thus training pays off. But what these other games have lacked is increasing your power level, increasing your attack or your ki and stuff like that in training. Now, if they can do training this way, this will make the game even better, because this is an RPG. They can do training several ways. I would love this type of training system like we talked about before, where I could go in training and I can just work on ki and it would increase my ki. You know, I could work on fighting, it would increase my melee. I could work on blocking, it would increase my defense. Or you can work on all of them depending on what you do. What I think is going to happen with training is there's going to be certain training mini games in a sense. I don't think it's going to be where you just, I'm pretty sure there'll be a part where you can just kind of practice on battle mechanics, you know, and just have like this endless type of battle. But I also believe that there's going to be actual training mini games where, say I'm fighting with Goku and I have this robot that I'm fighting against, and this robot is constantly evading me, and the only way to take him down is with ki attacks. And so you have to aim and fire ki attacks. You know, the reason I think that training is going to vary in this way, you know, or you may have to use only melee attacks and it increases your melee. And each one gets progressively difficult, but gives you better progress and rewards in that regard. Now, the reason I think that it's going to be that way is because you also look at the trailer when Goku was training on King Kai's planet. He fired the ki blast at the rock and had to hit it. Now, more than likely, that's probably going to be a quick time event, unless we actually have to aim and hit it. I think it's going to be more of a mini game kind of thing, because it's comical in a sense, kind of like fishing. Fishing is like a mini game with quick time events and stuff like that, those type of mechanics. I think it's going to be the same way. And I really hope we have a little bit more control over training than that. I hope it's just not I hope it's not just quick time events. I hope there's different variations. Yeah, have some quick time event type training in there. Probably with like the ki blast, have some quick time events and stuff. But then also, you know, have it to where we can do just like a sparring match and get some progress with our character there as well. All of this stuff put together, in my opinion, can make training very, very, very in-depth and add to more depth of the game. And also the locations is a very big deal. You know, if we can train on Kami's Lookout, you know, and things like that, you know, maybe the currency or the Z orbs, I don't know if those things will have a role to play in training like they do in Dokkan Battle and Dragon Ball Legends. I don't think that they will, but it's a possibility that they could. Anytime you're in an RPG, you know, and you have certain elements like that, it does cost to do certain things of in-game currency. And I hope that maybe it does, you know, maybe that'll be kind of cool that let me say this. For like, say the hyperbolic time chamber, let us have to have a certain currency to use the hyperbolic time chamber, but let it be so that when we do train in the hyperbolic time chamber, that's like the greatest boost that we can get aside from the gravity chamber. What that's going to do is kind of provide a little bit of balance in the game, because they weren't able to use the hyperbolic time chamber back to back to back to back to back to back to back. You see what I'm saying? With something that good, because otherwise you won't train in the other training grounds. You'll just train at the hyperbolic time chamber all the time. So maybe they will put some kind of limiter on there, or something to where you have to use a certain type of rare currency or something to that effect, which would be really, really cool, because it would prevent us from just, like, I guess not overtraining, but just using the hyperbolic time chamber all the time and stuff like that. There has to be some kind of limiter there. So I don't really think we'll be able to train like in the hyperbolic time chamber and like the gravity room. If we do, y'all, that is going to be awesome and phenomenal, man. That is going to be super cool. I mean, because they already have it in Dokkan Battle and Dragon Ball Legends. So the idea for that concept is there, you know, so hopefully they do. That would be freaking cool, man. But we'll see, man. I'm hoping in the next couple of interviews or something that somebody asks about training, or they talk about training, because aside from eating, training is the one thing that Goku did the most. So hopefully we get to hear some information about that. Let me know what y'all think down in the comment section down below. How do you wish that training would work in the game? And what are some of the most iconic training locations that you would like to train in? Y'all, I'm so excited for this, and I'm sorry for doing a video so late, but it is what it is. Till next time, y'all. Thanks for watching. Peace.